So this pitch clock, is this the first season they're implementing that?
Yes, the minor league guys have experienced it, but yeah.
So I kind of want to process that, like where you're at with this thing, because baseball, America's pastime, the legacy of baseball, pastime, using that word intentionally. These days, the biggest sport in America is football. Basketball kind of has the biggest icons, if you will, LeBron, Steph, Giannis. Baseball is all about tradition. Growing up, I was all about baseball. That was all I was at, honoring the legacy, the past, Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, everything, Ty Cobb. How much do you think this pitch clock is going to change the game and not honor the pastime that was baseball?
Yeah, there's a lot to it. I mean, even when you talk about the pitch clocks, you talk about the analytics. And I'm kind of in the middle ground there. I'm not in the high end of it or, push it to the side. It's going to change a little again now because you can't do the shift. So my kid that's playing second, both feet have to be on the dirt. You can't be playing, having four outfielders or having a second baseman play just about right field. Pitch clock, the main thing, and that, again, I preached it to two teams. When I leave here again, tomorrow I'm going to talk to Houston, and the main focal point will be, I think it's a focus thing now because you're speeding up and it's going to turn a pitcher into a thrower because all you're going to do is look at the catcher, get the sign real quick, and here we go, I'm heaving it. And you're going to make a lot of mistakes in the strike zone or you're going to throw some pitches without really being behind that pitch mentally and focused on where you want to throw it. So I think it'll make again, there's a couple pitchers that are wearing the wristband that are calling their own game. Mm-hmm. I called 95% of my game from the mound just with my looks. With my catchers, had some wonderful catchers. Always give them guys props. Over 24 years, had some fantastic catchers that paid attention to detail. And if one of those catchers got traded to another team and we were playing them, they knew my cadence and what I was doing with my eyes and which side of the plate I wanted to throw the baseball on. But again, I think the main thing about the pitch clock is that guys are just going to start grabbing the ball, get a sign, and throw it without understanding how you're trying to break a hitter down.
Do you think, because here's where I'm going with this, Roger. Do you think that this is something that's inevitable, meaning like, listen, you got to evolve. That's just kind of how sports work. Hey, you got to adapt with the times, and it's a good thing.
Yeah.
The only thing constant is change. Or the other end of the spectrum, sign of the times. You look at Gen Z these days or even younger kids, elementary school and all that, their attention span is so limited, right? If you don't get someone's attention in 3 seconds, 5 seconds, whether it's TikTok or Snapchat, they just can't pay attention. They're not going to sit through a 3.5-hour baseball game where it's a pitcher's duel and it's 1-0 going into the ninth. And they're just like, they want it quick. They want it fast. There's sort of instant gratification. There's sort of the good, bad, and ugly of this. Yeah. What are your thoughts? You've got kids in their 20s, 30s, and you said you had grandkids, right?
Yeah, the grandboys.
So you've got a good perspective on age and generations.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you said, but with like football. When I talk to the college football players, coaches, they got to let music blare in the clubhouse now, and they got to have everybody's got a TV in front of their locker with their swag and their highlights on it. Mm-hmm. You just got to kind of roll with the times a little bit with these guys. You want to speed up baseball? I always said get rid of the walk-up music and everything else, but that's
baseball, baby.
Yeah, you got your walk-up music, everybody's styling and popping their collar, and now I pitched right through it. I mean, the early days, if you hit a bomb and you flipped your bat, do that to Nolan Ryan or Bob Gibson and see if you're even alive to play the next game.
Straight up.
I mean, that was I'm jumping around here. My Don Drysdale story was I was 22 years old. I just pitched in Winter Haven. I was with the Red Sox. I pitched my 3 innings against the Dodgers were in town, obviously, and Big Don Drysdale was doing his radio show. I knew the name. I didn't know him. I've never met him. 6'5". Our PR guy goes, when you get done icing, Don Drysdale's outside by the batting cage. He'd like to interview you for his show. So I go out there and meet him. He's a giant of a man. And,
you're not small, Roger.
Yeah,
you're
no,
6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, I'm about. He was 6. He had me by a full inch, and so I go soft-spoken man. We go through 20 minutes his radio show, and he turned his radio off, and then this different voice came out, and it's like, let me tell you something, kid. He goes, I've watched you. You got a chance in this game. I go, thank you, Mr. Drysdale. He goes, you know what my best damn pitch of the game was, kid? I go, no, sir, Mr. Drysdale. Now I'm kind of shaking like the Tin
You're
Man.
calling him Mr. Drysdale,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Oh yeah. I'm 20, so I'm kind of got the Tin Man shaking going on, looking at the Oz here, and he goes, you know what my best damn pitch of the game was, son? I said, no, sir. He said it was my second knockdown pitch. You know why, kid? He said because then the hitter knew the first one wasn't an effing mistake. And I was like, yes, sir, Mr. Dry. And I ran out of there. And but that's the old school guys.
Yeah.
But so I think it's entertainment. You know, we've got the cheerleaders now in the dugouts. You got your walk-up songs. The guys, you know, now I've kind of moved to if you don't like the way things are going, play better. If you don't like the guy flipping his bat, you know, keep the ball out of the middle of the plate. You know, you're the one that hung it. But you know, like I said, I agree with a lot of the analytics. I get it, but you still have to have an eye and a heart test. You know, it was great for me, even in my advanced age. I was in my 40s, and say with the Yankees, Mel Stoudemire is my pitching coach, and I would come off in the 7th inning, and I was grunting out there, and you could tell that I was laboring a little bit. And he grabbed me, and he's like, you know, Joe, they want to move to the bullpen, and because it looks like you're emptying your tank. But Mel and I had a little system that now I go one hitter at a time. So I'm going back out for the 8th, knowing that if this guy gets a base hit or gets on, I'm coming out. So my 8 warm-up pitches are more intense, and now I'm really grinding on it. Now I get him out. The best closer in the game, Mariano Rivera, only has to get 4 outs now. Boom, I get a pop-up. Now he's only got, you know, so that's kind of how we operated there instead of just, you know, dragging somebody out of the game right away.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.